Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Signals from the Batcave. I am Nok.
And I'm Rah.
And we're talking about comic books because Gotham's on a hiatus for the time being. Stupid holidays.
Stupid season breaks!
So, first up, I guess we'll go in order that they came out.
Okay.
First up, Batman Ninja Turtles crossover.
Right.
IDW and DC Comics join up again after their Green Lantern Star Trek run.
Yeah.
I was okay for the most part on this one.
Yeah?
Some of the artwork was lacking. The first appearance of Batman, he looked like, let's just say over muscular. Like his muscles had muscles in that picture.
It was really weird. Like the artwork, I thought looked good because we previewed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We previewed it, and it looked good. And looking up the artist's other work, it looked decent. But I think what really threw it was like the coloring. It almost looked like watercoloring to me. Like somebody had used like watercolor paints to color it. So I think that immediately lends itself to like looking almost kind of bloated. Well, the only thing I didn't really like was the face. Like Bruce's face.
His head seemed small compared to his body in that first picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's comic book proportions, so I'm not too bothered by that. I just think like his face really looked very cartoonish when the rest of him sort of like didn't. I almost got an Arkham Knight kind of feel.
Okay.
Like, you know, from the Arkham games. Like it was that kind of suit.
It's possible that they were pulling inspiration from the game, so.
Just really simplified because, again, it's like a comic book, and the watercolor in it was like not good. But where I thought it worked was in Killer Croc's rendition. Yeah. I think he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it lent itself well to like his sort of knobby skin, that sort of like blotchy paint style that they used for the book. So, there it looked good. You know, I think the Ninja Turtle stuff looked good. I liked seeing, you know, Shredder and the Foot and all that. I think they look good.
Yeah, they look good.
So,
now, the premise for the book is somehow Shredder, the Foot Clan, and the Turtles were swept through a dimensional portal and wound up in Gotham.
right.
And now the Foot Clan is taking a whole bunch of tech from different companies around Gotham, assuming they're trying to make a dimensional portal to get back to their own realm.
See, I didn't think it was that at all, and I might have to look this up. I thought it was Donnie came up with a plan to build something to get himself, the Turtles, and Shredder back to... Because we know Shredder can't build that stuff.
Well, it was the Foot Clan that was stealing the technology.
Oh, I thought it was the Turtles.
No, the Turtles were there because they were going after the Foot Clan.
See, I thought the Foot was following them, so it was actually the Turtles that was going to use the technology, but the Foot was following them because they're like night and day enemies.
Right.
So that's what I thought was happening. Because who in Shredder's crew can build a dimensional portal?
We don't know. There's a possibility that Krang is around somewhere, just in the shadows.
I suppose that's possible. Yeah.
Or Baxter Stockman.
Yeah.
I've been watching the old episodes of Turtles, so
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reread that one. I think I'll give that one another look and maybe give the artwork another look because I thought it was completely the other way around. And the only reason that, of course, well, I'll reread it.
Okay.
I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go with that.
Next up would be Batman Europa number 2. Now, the storyline in the first one was good, setting up the story. This issue they were in Prague, and it kind of fell away for me compared to the first one.
Huh. Why do you say
And the
that?
story's still good. It's just it didn't have the same impact as the first one did.
I think a lot of that has to do with the artwork. And I posted this myself on my personal Facebook. I should probably put it on the podcast's Facebook page. Why the fuck would you would you premiere Jim Lee as the artist of your arc? All right, and perhaps I'm reading into this. Maybe he was only slated to do the first one. But why the fuck would you switch halfway, or not even halfway through, like the second issue, to somebody else?
Right.
I mean, the artwork is still decent, but that's what really did it for me. Like, I saw who was drawing, and I immediately posted it before I even finished the book. Because I'm like, that's what I was psyched about. Because book one was, like, gorgeous.
Right.
It was beautiful shit. This one is good. I mean, I can see this how stylized it is with some of the artwork in it, but man, it's just, in comparison, it just is not, it's just not as good as his stuff, as Jim Lee's artwork.
Right.
I mean, it's just, it's very hard to top that, I mean, especially for this genre of comic. And, man, that was really the letdown for me. I thought it was really good, though. I still thought the story still flowed. You know, they still need to find the person who, is this girl's contact.
Trojan horse.
Yeah, who's the only connection or the only lead they have. You know, Bats uses her as bait.
Right.
You know, which...
And that backfires on him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Premise of this story is...
Spoilers, but yeah, go ahead.
If they're reading it, it's not a spoiler.
Right.
Batman was infected with a virus, possibly airborne, because he can't think of any other way outside of an airborne virus of how it got into his system. There was no scratches, no puncture wounds, no anything. But he's been infected with a virus, thought it was the Joker, runs into the Joker, finds out the Joker has the same virus inside him, and they're both dying from this virus. So they're teaming up to try to locate the person who infected both of them, known as Trojan Horse, and they're going around Europe to find this person. The first one started in...
Was it London?
No. It was Russia. It wasn't Prague. It was... Budapest?
Budapest. Might have been Budapest, yeah.
The first one started in Budapest, the second one was in Prague, and the next issue they're going to Paris.
Yeah, okay. See, that's the thing, though. It's like... That's why I didn't think it really fell off to me for, because they do a good progression.
Yeah.
I mean, book two, they've got like lesions on them. You know, they're both feeling the effects of having their bodies ravaged by this virus. And the sense that they have to work together is really where it's coming together for me, because you have the Joker doing Joker things, and Bats can't really rein him in 100%. Because A, he's not physically able to do it, and B, his methods might be the thing that flushes this guy out, or maybe makes him make a mistake, or something like that. I mean, throughout the book, he's like saying, you can't do this, you can't do that kind of thing.
Right.
But, you know, at the same time, he's not knocking him out to stop him. You know, he's not tying him up to stop him. So I think that's where it's kind of like picked up for me. It's like, how are these two basically mortal enemies going to end up being in a buddy cop type of...
That just ran through my mind. It's kind of a buddy cop movie where you have the serious, straight-laced guy, and then you have the funny...
Comic relief guy. Yeah.
Kung Fu?
The comic relief guy.
Comic relief guy.
Yeah.
Jumping around him and doing his own thing and irritating the crap out of the straight-laced guy the entire way.
Right.
But they have to work together to get to the final product.
Right.
I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah. And I really dig how it feels kind of like Old World, where they are, having gone from Budapest to Prague. And, you know, the antagonist in Prague is like, he's using like these mannequins, but they don't look like robots. They look like almost like marionettes.
Yeah, they were marionette robots that were built in like 1500.
Yeah, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
Because you have this like sort of like duality working here. There's like this really active, very, you know, modern engineered virus that's attacking them physically, and then you also have these sort of antique robots that are also attacking them physically. So it's kind of like a neat parallel that's running there between Old World and New World, but they're both equally effective.
Right.
So it's like, it's kind of cool. I like that. And whoever the bad guy is, he's pretty cool too, I think. Because in the end, when he like offs that guy, I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out who that is, but I don't think they've dropped enough.
The
clues.
bad guy or the guy he killed?
The guy in the plane that the
Right. Okay. Trojan horse.
Yeah.
The main villain. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of anybody that would want both of those people dead.
I mean, it could be somebody completely new.
Could be. Could
You
be Blossom. Bloom. Could be Bloom.
Yeah.
Doubtful. But
No.
anyway, okay, so finally, Dark Knight 3, The Master Race.
Right.
I've stated this before, I'm not a huge Frank Miller fan, but I enjoy his work.
Right, I'm not a Rabid fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I like how people have translated his work into other things.
Right.
Like, I like the animated movies, and I like the sentiment of those books being brought into the modern books, the books that came after it.
Right.
Sort of like creating the type, sort of like dark, and I hate to use this because it's Wabe's favorite fucking word, but the sort of like gritty noir type world that Gotham is in. I mean, I think most folks can attribute his take on the Bats mythology as that's what basically launched that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I like his stuff. His artwork is really a pain for me to get through, so I don't like that. But
yeah, that really detracts from me because
Yeah.
I'm really, when I read comics, I also want the pretty pictures.
right.
So
But this story I'm really digging because I wasn't really sure where they were going to go with it, because it seemed like, what was it, Strikes Again? Was the last book? Was it Returns or
Yeah.
Strikes Again?
Strikes Again.
Strikes Again. That one seemed like it sort of wrapped everything up kind of nicely.
It did, and then this one brought back the city of Condor. And when I saw that in the first book, I'm going, okay, yeah, they're going to be attached to or are going to be the master race. And that's what happens. At the end of book 2,
Right.
the Atom brings 1,000 people, and that brings back, but normalizes 1,000 Kryptonians, and it winds up being this Kryptonian
Cult.
religious cult sect, and squishes the Atom.
Well, that's a cool thing about it, is that the city of Kandor has been sort of like a mainstay in the Superman comics for a long time.
Right.
It was like the last vestiges of Krypton, besides all the criminals,
Yeah.
like Zod and Supergirl and all that kind of thing. It was the last real, piece of Krypton left that was sort of like intact, with all the citizens and the technology and the architecture and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was really cool how this sort of thing, as a little microcosm of their world, was used, and the Atom wasn't like doing it. He was manipulated into doing it by the citizens of, the bottle,
Right.
the city. So it's almost as if like Superman, his culture, did this thing. Now it was an abomination because when they're finally normalized and made full size again, there's dead bodies all over the place. So obviously this sect took out the people, the naysayers, and then pushed forward with their plan to become, giant again.
Right.
But I thought that was a really cool twist. It's like the shock on the Atom's face when he sees what's happening is like palpable.
Yeah.
Because it's not what he expected. He expected something like, live people,
Yeah.
and not these nutcases. So, and do we know that the Atom's actually dead?
We don't know for sure because the panel goes black and all you see is a word that says squish.
Yeah.
So it could be, I don't remember the villain's name, but it could be he steps in a puddle because the Atom shrinks down to miniature size.
Right.
So
You could, at that point, they've absorbed some yellow sun too, so
That's
he
true,
could be
yeah.
crushing anything
yeah,
under his foot. So it's like,
but they hadn't been. Well, no, because they were entrapped in the city of Kandor, so
Right.
they could have been soaking up the yellow sun that entire time too.
right.
Okay, never mind.
Well, as soon as they're removed from the cave, because the cave could be shielded.
Right.
The Fortress Solitude.
Yeah.
At the cave. The fortress could have been shielded as soon as they went out because he took them to the beach, right? Was that the backdrop?
He did, but not Kara. Superman's daughter.
Yeah. Isn't it Kara?
I thought that was Supergirl's name.
Yeah, that is Superman. What is her name? I can't remember.
The entire time flying from the North Pole all the way to the Atom, and then the Atom having the city of Condor in his lab in the desert and all that, they did soak up the yellow sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main villain just steps on him. It shrinks him down to miniature size and then steps on him, and panel goes black and all you see is squish. So
yeah, it's heavily
possible.
implied.
Yeah. The artwork for that one, the main story is
Lara.
The artwork is okay, but when Miller does his little side story books, in this one it was the story of Wonder Woman and her daughter / Superman's daughter talking and sparring, and the artwork is just crap
Yeah.
to me.
I mean, I admit I didn't read the Wonder Woman mini book inside, the actual physical cover. But since I'm revisiting Turtles Bats, I'll probably do that too by tomorrow. Shit, I gotta watch Game of Thrones again too for Joe. Fuck. All right, well maybe I'll do that also. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good. You know, aside from the artwork, which has always been kind of sketchy, but
Yeah, the storyline's good.
yeah, storyline's good. I mean, I like everything that's going on, so yeah, it seemed good to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that the bad guys are going to be the vestiges of, you know, Superman's homeworld, I think is pretty good mind fuck.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like comics, because last we know of him, he's like frozen.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the fuck that means.
In the Fortress of Solitude, frozen, sitting on his throne chair, frozen. There was no explanation as to how or why this happened.
Right. Or why he's stuck there.
Yeah, it's possible that he put himself in isolation for some reason.
I do like the dynamic between Lara and Diana.
Lara, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Kara, Lara.
Yeah. Art by Klaus Janson and Andy Kubert.
Yeah.
So I think Klaus is doing the...
He's doing the main story.
Is he doing
Miller
the
is
pencils?
still doing the mini books, I believe.
Yeah.
But if you look at Miller's earlier work, if you look at his Daredevil pencilings, it's spot on.
Right.
And then you get into Dark Knight Strikes Again, and it's very... It's not sketchy. It looks like it was done by an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Maybe overly
that's why I
simplified.
don't understand why he chose to go that route. Maybe he wanted to stick with the same art style as was in Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Yeah.
But it's detracting from the story. So
Yeah. The cool part was I didn't have to buy like 3 other books, because when the first book came out, I got the Phantom cover. I got the when book 1 came out, Phantom cover, the variable color cover, and the cover for me to read.
right.
So this time around, there was only 1 book to pick up. So that was good.
Oh, they didn't do variant covers for all the books? It was just
I didn't
the
see
first
them
book. Okay.
at SoundCloud. So, you know, I suppose it's possible they could have been sold out, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Jeremiah when I see him.
Yeah, when I talked to Jeremiah, I don't know what time the store opens, like 9 or 10, and I got there at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and they were sold out of all the variants except for Phantom.
Right. This was for book 1?
Book 1, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was there 10:30 in the morning, and the shelves were pretty full, so I imagine that a variant did not come out, but you never can tell. But I'm happy with the book. I like the way it played out. I like the dynamic between Diana and her daughter. How she sort of like, shunning the advances.
Read that
of her
mini
mom.
book. It's all about Laura and Dinah. They're sparring, and Laura says, "I don't need this. I'm not one of you."
Right.
So.
Yeah. So that's cool.
All right. Well.
Yeah. That's all we got for this week. It's gonna be light, I guess, for a while until we can get back into Gotham and maybe Arrow when that comes back. I guess we can talk about that. But for the time being, that's about it. Because there's only one book that I'm reading that's going to be coming out, and that's Bats. The next Batman comes out in another 2 weeks, I think, maybe a week, which picks up where the last one left off.
And the last one, well, I don't think we talked about the last one. The last one, Bruce Wayne put the cowl back on, right?
No,
he just remembered who he was.
He remembered who he was, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, people have told him who he was, but this is the first time where I think he remembers the motivation of it.
Okay.
So there's that. That's revealed to him. And, of course, we knew this was going to happen. His old nemesis, spoilers, comes back.
Joker's back?
Yeah, Joker's back,
awesome.
too. So, and he looks normal. So,
Now, he was normal during the Endgame saga, right? He didn't have his face had reattached.
Yeah, it had reattached, and it was still contorted in the grin.
Right.
But in this, when he comes back in this one, he looks like he's completely healed. Like his face isn't even messed up at all.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a normal guy, other than the fact he's got his signature like lime green eye color.
Okay.
So he does smile in it, but it doesn't look.
It's not the rictus grin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like. So there's that too. I mean, and I don't know. Like the pace of it is kind of like very. I don't want to say very fast because we've been reading and talking about this for like months.
Right.
But it seems like way they do it is like there's no hint. It's like all of a sudden he's back.
Okay.
Like we don't see a lurking shadow. We don't see the machinations of somebody who's diabolically evil. Pulling the strings of stuff that's been happening now because the focus has really been on Bloom. But yeah,
All right.
he just sort of just comes back. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. All right, well, I guess that'll wrap up this episode of Signals from the Batcave. I'm Rah,
And I'm Nok.
and we'll see you next time.